We currently have a crazy deal going on over at poodlecfb.com. If you use code BACKTOSCHOOL, all lowercase with the number 2 in the middle, you get 50% off the annual plan. And if you use code BACKTOSCHOOL2025, again, all lowercase with the number 2, you get 40% off the monthly plan. That is the best deal we've ever ran over there. Make sure to take advantage. This is a locked-in grandfather deal, so if you lock yourself into this deal, you have it for the lifetime of your membership. So come check it out, sign up, don't miss out on the best deal we've ever ran. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video. And today's video, we're going to be going over the huge update that just happened today in Dynasty mode. Guys, before we get into the video, if you haven't already, you got to check out poodlecfb.com. Not only are we running our best deal of the year, code half off, all lowercase, one word, half off, you get 50% off any plan, grandfathered in for life, as long as you're a member, at our best rate ever. It's the best place to be for any Dynasty player. We have thousands of lines of Excel spreadsheets. We have everything that could be documented in this game over on one digestible format. We have our ultimate CFB guide that's being constantly updated, our best coach build, our best exploits, our newest glitches, our newest methods, everything that we recalculate after an update, our best recruiting strategies, all of our data studies that show why a hard sell is better than this or a soft sell, or how grades at a B+ might be better than a grade at an A- if it's on the right player with the right package, all of our coachability studies, position change series, position exploit series, position things that you don't want to be doing, which I made a video on last week. There's literally everything you could think of in that chat, direct one-on-one coaching and help for your specific Dynasty questions. Best place to be at a great price right now. Use code half off for 50% off any plan, guys. But let's get into it. Guys, as you know, as of the time of watching this video, it's October 30th. We're well into the college football season. LSU's fired Brian Kelly, which I think was a good idea. I want Lane Kiffin personally. Based on his interviews, it sounds like he's not on the move, but as you know, you can never really say that. You can't really say that during a season while they're still playing that you want to leave. Lane Kiffin's the guy for LSU, but with that all being said, that means that a lot of things have changed. People who we thought were going to be the guys early in the year, like Garrett, Cade Klubnik, Heisman favorites, right? Sellers. Now we have guys like Fernando Mendoza. We have guys like Dante Moore. We have guys picking up. And what that means for us from a Dynasty standpoint is that there's a huge roster update. Over 4,500 new ratings have been changed. And this means so much for you as a Dynasty player. Let's start with the basics. If you're an online or offline league currently, you will not get these ratings for obvious reasons. That would be weird if you had like Lenore Sellers at a 99 overall and the game brings him back to 95, right? Or whatever it is. That'd be weird. But this is a good time for a lot of you guys. If you guys have been running an online league that advances daily since like July, and let's say you're already in season 7 or 8 and you're getting bored or you're getting tired of it, this would be a great time to restart, or at least in the near future, if that's what you're kind of interested in. For me personally, very interested in a Dynasty restart for more than one reason. First, we've come across so many different coach build studies. We really have our coach build pretty finalized at this point, but we've come a long way since day one. For any of you guys who may have botched your coach build or came across this channel or poodlecfb.com later in the year and didn't get your coach build the way you wanted it, this is a great time to kind of push your league to restart and build your coach the way you want it. But with that all being said, we have so many new ratings, so many things to go through, different powerhouse players, and this changes a lot, right? Because let's say there's a team that you really liked, but they had no quarterback or no offense, and you're like, yeah, I can't really rock with that year one. I'm trying to win. Now their quarterback went up 10 overalls, like a Ty Simpson. Now you're like, whoa, Alabama's quarterback situation's very, very good now, and their roster was already really good. But let's click. I'm gonna click on LSU here again. Team I picks has no relevance on this video for obvious reasons. That's crazy. I actually didn't know that was gonna happen. Brian Kelly's gone. It is Terrence Hightop again, which is crazy because for a second I thought I was playing CFB 25. I'm in CFB 25. Wow, that is incredible. I'm gonna leave this in here because I think this is really funny. I'm in CFB 25 right now. I opened the wrong game. Thankfully, we hadn't gotten too deep. I was about to say, I feel like I was in like a Twilight Zone moment where it felt like I was in CFB 25. Oh my God, they fired Brian Kelly. Let me get to the actual game. So guys, despite all that nonsense at the beginning of the video, roster update is not out yet. So we're going to be doing this over on the College Football 26 ratings database, kind of going through the strategy going forward, because that's what we do over on this channel. We readjust our strategy, especially when they do updates. So what I want to talk about today is, with all these new changes, you really want to reevaluate what you view teams as. And what I mean by that is, remember back in July or in late June when they had dropped the database and you were picking like what rosters you want, you kind of like subconsciously memorized every roster for what they were good at. For instance, I'll tell you about some common debates. When you picked Alabama, or if you wanted to go Alabama in early CFB 26, you're like, hey, Alabama's really good, but they don't have a quarterback. So you kind of have to wait a year or two to get one. You got to recruit one. You're not going to have your quarterback situated for 2 to 3 years. Now, while in real life, they make it work, right? It's Bama, they're elite in an online video game where you play other players. If other guys in your league who are really good at the game land a team like LSU that started with Garrett Nussmeier, they're going to dominate you right off rip with the quarterback. So you were making decisions based on that. But now in this roster update, for instance, we have guys like Ty Simpson who took like a 10 plus overall increase, which means they now have a pretty close to elite quarterback with all the updated abilities, probably some platinums. Now Alabama is one of the most advantageous spots to start at, considering they already have the pipelines, they have the coach, and that's what we really want to factor in here. So first and foremost, forget everything you knew about teams. If you decide to restart soon, or you're joining a league soon, you have to pick a team, and they have the new update in, you have to start factoring all these overalls. So what I recommend you guys do, especially take it in this video, but as you go on the game, you have some free time, start to kind of review some rosters. I always like to start with the top quarterbacks in the game, see where they all are at, see who's updated, see what teams have viable quarterback situations. So let's go through a few of these and just understand that this is going to change a lot about what you do. So we have Jeremiah Love, who took a pretty big increase here. 95 to 97 is no slouch. I know it's only 2, but going up to 97 overall is insane. This is a game that doesn't just give you a lot of 99s or close to 99s. Jeremiah Love will be 99 after a few games, after one season. He won't last too long, obviously, but he's already basically maxed out. You won't need much. 95 speed and a 97 running back is absolutely insane. This guy's absolutely unstoppable in this game. Ruben Bain got a pretty big increase. I believe this was a +5. He's now 97 overall. He has great speed and excel for the most part. I can't see the excel in here, but I know it's good. He's going to be an absolute demon in this game. Another thing where now you get like that cornerstone edge rusher on a team. A big one here is going to be Jordan Tyson. He went up quite a bit. Shout out my Giants. I hope they pair him up with Jackson Dart in this year's upcoming draft. But Jordan Tyson's another one that took a pretty big upgrade here. We have Caden Green, who took a pretty big upgrade here. A left guard that's getting better at this game. And what I do actually like about these roster updates, especially for CFB, is that when you look at Madden's a multi-year, you have a multi-year career, right? Madden's way slower with the roster updates. For instance, I remember Tyreek Hill had like a pretty electric rookie season, and they didn't make his speed maxed out. They didn't max out his overall. They usually take longer to kind of update things in Madden because, again, like a guy like Jackson Dart, he's having a pretty great start to his career, but they're not going to make him an 82 overall for it. They'll keep him in that 70s for quite a bit. Then they'll reassess for next year to see how he's looking going into camp after the season's over. CFP is very different. These guys don't have very long careers, especially guys. Think about a guy who just recently started. For instance, Garrett Nussmeier. His first season starting was last year. He's already going to senior year. He's the kind of guy where it's very different because he was like a 70 overall when he was a backup, and then right when he got thrust into the starting lineup, they have to jump your overall up. So what's cool about CFB is that they understand kind of like how long you have. For instance, let's just say a guy like Jeremiah Love being a 97 overall player, and let's say they're a junior, is being drafted first year. So it doesn't help to give you low overalls. Like, there's limited time with these guys, so they make them elite. Like a guy like Jeremiah Smith's a 98 overall here. When he gets transported into Madden, he'll probably be like an 83 overall. And then it'll probably take him a few years to get that into the 90s. And that's what's cool about these roster updates, especially mid-season, is that we're dealing with guys who are getting huge and like noticeable changes. Like, it's worth restarting because you have certain quarterbacks. Now, I'm going to give you guys an example. Let's scroll down a bit. Fernando Mendoza. There's a guy who went up almost 10 overall. I believe it was 7. An 87 overall is no slouch. But getting Fernando Mendoza as a 94 went from a good quarterback to an elite, one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And if we actually scroll up, he actually is the highest rated quarterback in the game. So he went from being a regular middle of the pack 87 overall pretty good quarterback to being the best quarterback in college football dynasty mode. And that is what's cool about these updates, that you never get jumps like that in Madden. And that's why, again, I think it's really worth, if you can, if there's been talks or your league's getting a little boring, restarting definitely helps. Another big jump, Arvell Reese went up about, I think it was like 5 to 7 overalls. Another guy who was pretty good in this game, but now you're getting an elite, one of the best middle linebackers in the game. Another one, Diego Pavia, definitely for sure went up. Now, this is one of those situations I'm talking about. Look at Vanderbilt. If you had picked Vanderbilt, if you guys remember, Vanderbilt was one of my favorite rebuild teams. They were ranked 1 for me when it came in terms of rebuild, school prowess, academic prestige, and all that. Pipeline area. They were good, but the problem is you were going to get an absolute garbage roster. That's where our problem was. Like, okay, the roster sucks, but they have potential. Now you look at Vanderbilt, they have Diego Pavia and Eli Stowers. That's a cornerstone quarterback with 89 speed and a cornerstone tight end at 90 speed. That is an elite duo right there. One of the best duos in the game, quarterback tight end. Might be the best quarterback tight end duo in the game. And you're getting these guys on a relatively lower team. Obviously, their stars may change, But that's a great, like Vanderbilt just went from being a great rebuild team to a win now and rebuild type team. And it makes them fun to play with. This team was not fun to play with. It was fun after 4 seasons. Now it's fun day 1, and you still have room to grow. And those are the fun rebuild teams. Those are the teams where I think about, and again, I always go back to Madden for this, obviously, because CFB's been gone for 10 years. I think about teams in Madden, like, for instance, the Giants this year or the Jaguars a few years ago when Lawrence was a rookie. It's like, yeah, the team's not great, but you have a rookie quarterback, you had a rookie running back, and it's like, it's fun to play with, and it still gives you room to grow. And that's what I like. So Vanderbilt instantly skyrockets up. Another one is going to be Ty Simpson once I can find him. He should be in this 91 overall area. Wow, there's a lot of 91 overalls in this game. And remember, there's guys that weren't even like highlighted. Like, obviously, if you're a fan of a team, you're going to see this filter by quarterback and go through a bit of these here because these are really important. Obviously, these kind of make or break team choices sometimes. I don't always think it's worth picking a whole team based on that. But look at this. Garrett Nussmeier's a 90. Opening the year, Garrett Nussmeier was the best quarterback in college football in the game. Right at the top. Look at the changes. Carson Beck at a 92. Mendoza at a 94. Diego Pavia at a 92. Dante Moore being a 91. Haynes King, 91. Julian Sain took a big jump. Ty Simpson. So let's look at these two teams right here, for instance. Ohio State was one of my hands down, like, tied for first best teams this year. The only hesitation with them was their quarterback situation. They had the defense. They had the CEO coach. But now you have a CEO coach in Ryan Day, but you also get Julian Sain as a 81 speed, which is solid enough, top tier, top 5, top 6 quarterback in the game. That takes Ohio State from a tied for first to an obvious first. Alabama for me this year was more of a 4-5 because their starting roster offensively wasn't exactly up to par with the quarterback situation the way I wanted it to be for a top tier team that I want to compete with day 1. Now with their pipelines plus a 91 overall quarterback, this team skyrockets back up to that tied for 1, 2, 3 spots. The only thing is they don't have a CEO coach. Let's talk Haynes King. Haynes King, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's one of our favorite rebuild teams as well. I always tell you guys, if you want a great rebuild team, take a team that's in a state with the state pipelines and an elite team. So Georgia's an elite team, elite pipelines. Georgia Tech's like the little brother nobody team in the state. Now you get a guy like Haynes King 91. You're in a rebuild league. Haynes King's a fun cornerstone quarterback to have while you rebuild them and try to copy the pipelines and build of Georgia. You have Darian Mensah, makes Duke a very attractive option, which again, Duke in the ACC, another great rebuild team. And we can go on for days. Carson Beck, for instance, Miami with the Carson Beck increase, plus Ruben Bain being a beast. Now you have an elite edge and an elite QB as options here, which I think is absolutely great. Ignore me hitting the right click over and over again. I'm sorry about that. Jaden Maiava. I picked USC early in the year. USC was one of my favorite 4-star potential 5-star teams. And when I say that is, USC was like a secret 5-star because of how good their academic prestige and their campus lifestyle was. It was so great that even though their roster was kind of trash, they were basically a 4 or 5-star already. So all you had to do was have one good season, maybe 2 good seasons, and you were a 5-star. They were my secret with the California pipeline hidden away. They were my secret team to build. The problem was their quarterback wasn't so great. Maiava was like an 82. He was decent. Obviously, you had Mekhi Lemon and a few other guys. They had some stuff, but their roster was pretty bad. Now you have them with a great quarterback. Suddenly, USC is a great and attractive day 1 team. John Mateer, another guy. Now look at guys like Cade Klubnik, who went down. Guys like, let's see, where's Lenore Sellers here? Arch Manning, 87 overall, right? Most people would have expected him to be like a 95 by midseason. Dylan Raiola, another guy that you would expect to be higher. DJ Lagway. All these guys that you would have expected to be a lot higher suddenly aren't. Am I blind, or do you guys see Lenore Sellers? Should I just look by South Carolina? There we go. Lenore Sellers, 88. Another guy that people would have expected to be in the mid-90s by now. This is taking quite a shift, and it really changes the landscape of teams. I'm telling you guys. Nothing is more fun right now in Dynasty mode. Like, if you're in a league right now, I know it's fun and all, but if you're seeing these ratings, the first thing I'm thinking is like, oh, I really want to restart with this guy. Oh, man, I really want to pick this team. I really want to try out Oklahoma now with John Mateer up, or I really want to do that rebuild league again. I have Georgia Tech when they were trash. I want them with Haynes King up, Pavia. Vanderbilt's nice now. And you can do this for basically any position that you look at. There's 4,500 changes. There's so much of a difference. And college football is so fun because of the shift. Like, going into every year in the NFL, there's always a breakout player or two. There's always a change here or there. There's always some stuff. But, like, drastic changes, like college football is one of those sports where you can go in with the top 10 quarterbacks all laid out, and come mid-season of the next season, all top 10 of those quarterbacks are washed out, not that good, and there's a whole new top 10 or top 3. That's just the beauty of college football, and that reflects in the roster update, is that what this game started as, this is an entirely new game. Entirely new game, and they've been fixing it with patches here and there with some of the gameplay issues. They fixed some of the problems with recruiting. This is an entirely new game coming into just about November 1st here, which I think is absolutely incredible and super, super fun. Look at all the running back changes, a lot of different ones here as well, which is super, super cool. Just kind of see, especially again, there's teams that I'm not looking at. You may be a big fan of this team. You may be a big fan of that team, or Notre Dame. You may love this team right here. There's so many different teams that may be on your radar that you want, that I'm not really calling out here, and you're just like, oh my god, Robert Henderson 89 now, or Eli Sanders went up to an 88, and I know their running back situation was trash because I picked USC in one of my leagues. Again, an 88 running back with 93 speed would have been very, very much appreciated, trust me. But I think that basically wraps what I'm trying to go through here. Go restart your leagues. Go join a new league as a side league to enjoy some of the roster changes. And you don't have to restart today. If you guys are trying to get to Christmas first and then do like a New Year's reset, that's what we've done in the past. Just be excited for what the changes are, and just know that this is an entirely different game, and you're going to want to really, really pay attention to the roster dynamics now. LSU was a great defense, great quarterback, great wide receiver situation. Now they're a good quarterback situation with possibly a good defense. You know what I mean? LSU may not be the number 1 overall, number 2 overall team anymore. Maybe now they're 7 or 8. So don't just blindly be like, oh my god, LSU's available, I'm taking them. Remember, there's differences now. There's differences in teams. There's huge differences, but quarterbacks, make sure you do your due diligence and relearn what every team has. Great defense, bad offense. Great offense, bad defense. Alabama's now a great offense and a great defense. You know, like, check all that out. Understand where you're at. The landscape has greatly changed, guys. That's what it for the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell. Let me know down below what's your favorite ratings change. What's your favorite team change? What team went from like a Vanderbilt went from like to like, wow, this team's gonna be great to play with. Let me know down below what's your favorite team. There's 150 plus teams in this game. I obviously don't know all of them, like in terms of what changed. Go through, let me know what your favorite one is, comment down below. And of course, if you want more in-depth data, if you want to dominate your new dynasty that you're about to restart, if you want to dominate your friends, not only should you pick a great roster based on these changes, you should join poodlecfb.com, code half off, one word, all lowercase, 50% off any plan. You'll get directed one-on-one help. You'll dominate your league. You'll have access to every exploit, glitch, method, strategy, and data study possible in this game. And you're going to dominate your new dynasty. So if you're restarting, no better time to join than now. Code half off, guys. And don't forget, chalkboard. You get your deposit matched now, not a free 20 bucks. So you deposit 100, you get 100. That's $200. You deposit $5, you get $5. It's a deposit match. Use code PoodleCFB or the link down below. Best place to play fantasy sports. And of course, with my code, you also get the extra match, which is essentially free money as long as you deposit first. But guys, that's about it. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.